Day 4 of playing 3 games a day every single day until I hit Challenger. Let's get right into it. Starting off day number 4 at Diamond 296 LP with a 51% win rate. Jumping right into game number 1 for today. We're up against Karthus in the jungle, so we lock in Zach. I also saw we had a Yasuo, so I really thought it'd be some nice wombo combo with him to get the knockups for him for free. Karthus is pretty immobile, so I should be able to hit my knockups on him pretty easily. I think overall it's pretty safe blind pick, and it's one of my main junglers, so let's get right into the game. Hopping right into the first game here. We're about to finish our full clear. We're up against a Karthus, so we know that his clear is going to be a lot faster than ours. It's around 310 right now. We know his full clear is probably almost finished. It is. We see him hit the plant for vision. I should be rotating right here instead of starting blue buff because we can get a free pick on him. Unfortunately, I'm a little late here because I started blue buff. No reason to start blue here. I really should have just been here because we knew that his clear would be almost done. Really grief from me. It looks like this might not end too well. Let's see how it fares for us. Yeah, honestly, I was just too late to that. Should rotate faster, and when we're up against a jungler like Karthus, we need to recognize that his clear is going to be quicker than ours. Fresh off of respawn here, I'm wanting to finish my full clear and get the blue buff because I still haven't hit level 4. Unfortunately, I missed looking at bot lane. I should have been paying attention to the lanes when I was walking to blue buff instead of looking at the buff itself. Caitlyn looks like she's getting dove. This is really bad by me. I end up having to smite the blue just so that I can get there in time. But I know for a fact, if I just skipped the blue and ran there, I would have been there quick enough to keep Caitlyn alive, and none of this would have happened. She wouldn't have lost a wave, and I really could have got this lane ahead for free. We end up picking up both the kills, but there's no reason Caitlyn should ever die here. Right after the bot gank, I clear scuttle, and I look to just gank mid right away. I think this is a great call just because we know Karthus is going to be spam farming, because he's a Karthus, so he wants to farm as much as he can. I'm just looking to get early ganks off super fast so that we can get an early lead on the Karthus. He's really OP right now, so I think any way I can get an early lead when he's just farming is a great idea. Right after Dragon, we end up doing the exact same thing. There's really no reason for us to be farming here, especially when Lucian's that low. I look to just go bot and ignore my camps again. Karthus is just AFK farming. He might be farming my topside. I don't really care because I'm getting my team ahead. I think when you're playing a tank like Zach or just a tank in general, it's better to just get your team ahead rather than farm and keep up in jungle farm with the Karthus. We see that he's on grubs, so it was the right call. I finally end up doing a full clear, and I pathed up top because he did grubs, so he's probably going to do grubs and then path all the way down. So I did the reverse, and I did gromp and path all the way up so that I'm on the opposite side of the map. It ends up working out. We get a free pick top lane. This was a great call by me overall. I'm really happy that I am playing this aggressive and just looking for plays on the map. We see Karthus here. I'm kind of surprised that he's here. I probably should have followed up a little quicker instead of holding my E so long. It would have made it so that Karthus couldn't flash. And I think since he got the flash off, none of this worked out. And honestly, it was pretty int overall. I'm looking to re-engage. We don't have a wave or anything, but we do have a Yasuo, so I'm hoping he can just ult. I'm just going to run out. He ends up cleaning it. It ends up working out overall, but I really think Volibear had no reason to die there because he had his ult taking the turret. I think if I'm a little quicker on my CC to follow up his point and click, then Karthus wouldn't have been able to flash. We would have just one-shot him, and none of this would have happened. This is way too aggressive. I think I really thought that Yasuo would have ulted here since I saw he had ult up, and I pinged on my way. He never ulted off of that kill or the Karthus kill, so I thought that was a little weird. But overall, there's no really reason to go for this play. We could have just reset and been completely fine with the winning play overall since we killed Cassante and Karthus. And we had good back timers for the Yasuo, but instead I looked for an aggressive play. Really not my best call. Jumping forward a bit here, we see there's a big fight breaking out in the bot lane, so I'm just going to skip my blue buff and gromp and head bot. We see that they have vision of me. I'm just going to jump in anyway. I don't really think I care. This might be a great counter gank. I missed the Q. I'm kind of missing everything. Luckily, Caitlyn wins the 1v1 against Lucian. 1v2 if you count Yumi. I just go straight on Karthus. It works out because Caitlyn just ults the Karthus and we're both out. I think this was a good counter gank. It was a little late, but still was a good counter gank. Unfortunate I got hit by the Q there and died. was super close, but overall, I'm happy that we at least recognized to skip the camps and go bot. Moving forward a bit here, we're completely off of vision and we're deep in their jungle. We see Karthus. Since we have a wave here and the whole team's here, I'm gonna look to dive. I'm really happy that we chose this dive instead of one where we don't have a wave and we don't have teammates around. I think we're honestly getting a lot better at dives overall, unlike that volley bear one, but I only did that dive earlier because I know volley barrel removes turret aggro. I think dives are getting a lot safer and we're choosing to wait for waves. Moving forward a bit more, I'm looking for a play with Nautilus here so that we can just like get some turret damage. Our whole team's here. I'm really happy with how fast I was on that E because it immediately followed up on the Nautilus CC so that they really couldn't move, and it chained the CC, so it sort of feels like they can't play at all. I think that was a great use of it, unlike earlier. Really happy that I timed my CC there. We're looking for a dive here. Volley bear's way in. He disabled the turret, so I look to follow up. I think we're okay, actually. I think overall that was a really aggressive play, but it ended up working out in our favor. Dragon's spawning soon. I'm gonna look and see if they have any camps up before drag, but overall I think that was really good. Moving forward a bit more, Volley Bear and Nautilus look to be taking a terrible fight. They're 2v5. I end up pinging retreat here. I normally would be pinging on my way, and then they probably would have re-engaged, but since I pinged retreat, they ran away and sort of baited them into us. It was a great call by me. I really need to be pinging retreat more because it worked out so well here. Overall, I think that fight was the game ender. I think we're just going to take Baron and win the game here. That's going to wrap up the first game. We got promoted off the first game today. We're at Diamond 120 LP. It's looking like a great start to the day. Let's get right into game 2. Hopping into game number 2 here. We're in the jungle once again. We're up against an Udyr this time. We picked Zac once again just because Zac is one of my best junglers overall. I know I'm starting to seem like a Zac one trick and a Zac abuser. You're absolutely right. I am a Zac abuser. Nothing wrong with that though, because he's really strong right now, and I think he can provide a lot of engage for the team. We're up against an Udyr. He can use his CC removal on my abilities, but overall, I don't really think it matters because we can get such a nice engage on like an immobile Scion or Jinx over the wall. But we'll just see how the game goes. Kicking off the second game here, right at the start, we see their bot lane fighting ours, level 1. We see Udyr down there. So I know that he's probably going to have to start bot side because it's almost 1:30 and the camps are about to start. Just to be safe, I'm not going to go near bot side this game. It looks like they're kind of out of the game anyway, so I'm going to try and play towards my top lane. I think Gwen can kind of assassinate their ADCs anyway, so I don't really want to play towards a losing lane with Kaisa Thresh. I'm going to take red and probably just look to vertically jung and take his jungle. But yeah, that's how we're going to look at the start of this game. We only take the blue and gromp of his camps because I'm really not sure if he knows that we took his jungle. He might have honestly went to his jungle to start just to be safe overall. But luckily, we see Scion is really pushed up. He's really easy to gank since he's so immobile. I'm going to show here, which is probably going to incentivize Udyr to take my jungle because he sees I have blue buff. I really like this play, just like looking for a Q to start off the E to guarantee the CC. Really a free kill for the Gwen. I think this is a great way to start off the game. We're just going to look to full clear down, even though my bot side's probably gone. We might look to regank top. Fast forwarding a bit, this is a bit of a slow game. We're taking grubs. Again, we're taking grubs because we're playing towards topside this game. I'm really happy with my jump here. Yesterday, I was really passive on the jump and I held it way too long until that Zyra yesterday in the bot lane walked out of my vision. Today, I decided to jump immediately because we had vision of the Udyr and I didn't wait for him to walk into the bush out of my vision. Really happy that we're starting to recognize small things like this. I think that was a free pick onto Udyr and it made my E really easy to land when we had vision. Moving forward a bit more, we see Kaisa pinging for help. She thinks she's gonna get dove. There's a huge wave down there. They're both trying to dive. I'm kind of scared that Udyr might be there because we've been playing topside the whole game. He's gonna be looking really aggressive bot side to get their bot lane ahead. I kind of don't want to play into a fed Jinx, so I just skip I don't even skip any camps, nothing's up. But I think this was a great call overall to follow this up. I think I should have been a little quicker, just so that Kaisa didn't have to flash or ult. But overall, I think this was a great call so that bot lane never gets ahead and my Kaisa's big. She wasn't too happy of how long I took, but I think it was great timing overall. and it ended up working out in our favor. We got all their sums, and I think Udyr might feel like a little hopeless because I got top lane ahead really early. He's been playing for bot lane the whole time, getting dragons and such, but I kind of just shut that down with the counter gank, and I really don't know what he can do this game. I'm clearing my second set of grubs this game. Again, I'm playing towards topside. We're giving the dragons this game. We could play for the third dragon later, but the first two we definitely just want to give because we're getting top ahead. I kind of want to keep top lane ahead and shut down the Scion. I waited for the wave to get in, which I'm really happy about because then I'm not under a timer, and it really didn't matter that I missed my ability since we had minions, so I'm not really under any risk. I just tanked the turret, walk out, and Gwen gets the kill. Really happy with how I played that compared to yesterday, rushing into dives when we don't have a wave. But yeah, great job keeping top ahead. Jumping forward a bit here, we're in the bot lane, we're on a ward. Jinx throws her snare. I have to jump out. Luckily, her ult doesn't land. We see Udyr ghosting towards me. I'm a little spooked here. I'm gonna run towards turret this time. I'm happy I didn't run a stupid path like yesterday on Shyvana. I'm just gonna run towards my turret because I know the turret's safe. I'm really happy with how we pathed today. I'm gonna try and clear Gromp because I don't know if he's gonna stay and take my Gromp, but I'm a little scared he will. So I'm just gonna sit here. Since he doesn't go for it, I'm gonna take it. But we know that he's nearby. He's probably on my wolves. I really don't know where he went. So I'm just gonna take my Gromp and be really passive here just in case he's camping or something. But if he would have came, he would have came right now. We see Viktor TPing. I probably should be looking at the map more. Since we know Udyr was just bot, he could have easily just taken my wolves and looked to path mid, especially since Viktor just came there. He was mid. He took my wolves and went straight mid. I should have known that. It's pretty obvious since he never went to the Gromp. I really need to be paying more attention to the map when I'm jungling at this sort of stuff instead of just autopiloting and thinking he'll make a really obvious play like go for my Gromp. It looks like they're playing really aggressive here. We're gonna go right on the Scion. I preemptively buffer my jump so that I don't get stunned mid-jump. I'm gonna try and fight for my red buff. I think he's just out. Overall, I think we could have played that a lot better just by pinging off mid lane or noticing that he probably would have went to my wolves instead of my Gromp, instead of just AFK at the Gromp for so long. I think we should have been more proactive on the map and looking mid. Jumping forward a bit here, we took the Rift Herald. I'm looking to dive top. Kaisa's pinging it. We get our whole team here. I have Rift Herald. She cancels the back. I really should have just dropped Rift here so that we guarantee the turret and can guarantee the dive. Instead, I E in so that we could just like tank the turret a little bit and try to keep them there. I should just be dropping Rift here. I don't really know what I'm doing. We don't have a wave. We can't get a wave because they just cleared it. This is really stupid by me. I'm getting missing pinged by my Kaisa. She thinks I'm a huge troll. I kind of am. I think I should have aggressively dropped the Rift Herald here and then just looked to dive right after. This was really poorly played by me and probably could have thrown the game. Third drag's coming up here and our team is not strong enough to fight at all. We have no vision. There's really no reason for me to make this play. I do anyway, and it ends up working out. We hit the smite, we steal the third dragon. That's really bad for them. I probably should have pinged a lot more that I was going for that play. I think Viktor thought that we were going for that. Kaisa was pinging him the entire time to back off. I sent it anyway. I don't really think they're mad at me. I think they're mad at Viktor, but I probably should have pinged off Viktor as well to help indicate that we aren't going for that dragon, and I'm gonna make a suicide attempt to steal. Jumping forward a bit here, it looks like my bot lane's getting ran down by Udyr. I'm just gonna try and keep my Kaisa alive here. I know I end up bouncing the Brand ult off of her, but it would have bounced off her anyway with Brand being in melee range. I think it's really smart to just front to back with my carry instead of jumping in like a hero like I would have on day one of this challenge. I'm really happy that I'm starting to recognize to play around my carry instead of jumping in alone. Just got a huge siege mid with the Rift Herald. It was probably good that I didn't drop it earlier because we ended up getting so much out of it. We opened the whole inhib and took like 3 turrets. Gwen's really caught out. I'm about to jump in. Luckily, I listened to my teammates here and back off. This is very unlike me, so I'm really happy that I'm starting to recognize my teammates' calls and just listen to them. Because if they don't want to make a play, chances are they're not healthy for it and there's a reason for it. So I'm not going to force the engage when they don't really want to fight. It's never good to take a fight when your team's not confident that they're gonna win it. Moving forward a bit more, we took Baron. We're in a very similar situation to what we were just in. We see Gwen get caught. I get pinged off, but I jump in anyway after the Gwen dies. This is very unlike what I was supposed to be doing and very like me. I don't really know what this bug is. It says I'm dead and my passive already popped, so there was no reason for me to be dead yet. Riot, fix your game. But I really don't think I should be making plays like this. This was a huge throw on my end. I think we just let Gwen dying out, and then they have no reason to chase. But since we got Jinx excited, they're able to just run us down and, you know, start to come back. Jumping forward a bit more, I really don't like this engage from me. There's really no reason to go on Udyr. It ends up working out. We end up picking him with the Kaisa damage because she's so big. But overall, I think I should be waiting for the carry to show on the map so that Kaisa can just ult onto the Jinx, because Jinx is so fed. Because I forced the engage on the Udyr, I took a bunch of unnecessary damage. I'm flashing on the brand for absolutely no reason here. This is really grief by me and might cost us the Baron. Kaisa gets picked because she was alone. I really should have been playing with Kaisa here and looking to dive on their carry. Moving forward a bit more, it looks like they have a huge siege with Baron that they're looking to try and end the game with or get an inhib. Luckily, Sion gets caught by my team. Gwen's pretty strong, so they do the damage. I'm just going to try to front to back with my Kaisa. I get a snipe onto the Jinx. Viktor is going to flash ahead and pick the Jinx here. It's really big. I think diving for the Jinx is huge, but also Viktor can just kill her if he has flash up like that. So I think it was a really good call by me to just sit back and peel the Kaisa. Moving ahead, this is the soul for the game. Big dragon here. It's starting to look like the end of the game here. It's a huge fight. Anyone can win the game off of this. I look to engage. We get a bunch of CC off. I'm just sort of trying to front to back with the Kaisa. Luckily, my Gwen is big enough to just ult and kill the ADC, and there's nothing she can really do about it. I chase Brand just to keep him out of the fight. But there's really no reason to chase here, so I back off. It doesn't really matter if the Q lands or if anything lands. We just need to push and end the game. It's gonna wrap up game number 2 here. Finishing up game number 2 here at Diamond 142 LP. We got 22 for that win. Really big win. It was a hard fought battle, but in the end, we came out on top. Let's get right into game number 3. Getting started on game number 3 here. We're in champion select. We got put in support. I'm gonna lock in Zach here because I think Zach is, again, a really good champion overall, and I've been kind of popping off with them with the 100% win rate so far this season. It's looking really good. I have a Draven ADC, a Katarina mid, a Master Yi jungle, so I'm really happy I picked an engage for these Giga Chads, but it's gonna be a lot of damage from my team. I really don't know how this game is going to come out because it's just a lot of damage, not a lot of CC, and it sort of just seems like reset 1v9 heaven from my team. So we're going to see how this one goes. I'm really thinking Zach will be a great pick here just because I can be there, engage and set up. And let's see what the top lane picks. Looks like my top laner ended up picking Tryndamere, so that makes him even more Giga Chad and squishy. It's going to be a hard fought battle. Let's get right into the game. Hopping into game number 3 here. It was pretty boring to start out the game. Really slow start for me in the bot lane. Draven sort of just farming. There's a huge wave here. I just reset because I took a lot of poke. I really don't know if I want to soak the XP from him, so I'm going to start looking at the other parts of the map. I see Katarina into Cassiopeia. I'm going to see what I can do to get her ahead, because I think a fed Katarina can kind of take over the game. And I know from experience, because I used to be a Cat 1 trick, that if you're fed on Katarina, you can take over the game really easily. I'm pinging to go in, even though she's nowhere near. I'm just going to wait for her, and then I'm going to look to engage on this Cass. I think this is a great call overall, just because I think if we get Cat ahead, it's a freebie. Just going to jump in here, walk ahead. I'm going to give her a thing to Shumpo to. I think she really loves me for that play. Really gets her ahead against the Cassiopeia, who's a hard counter to her, just so that we can secure mid lane advantage. And we get Draven a reset because he gets the wave in, and he got all of that XP to himself. So I really think a support roam here was a smart play. Moving forward a bit here, I really want to cast Draven out because he's been farming so much, and he's hit 6. I walk over to pick up a glob just for extra healing. It's really dumb for me to do that though, just because we're up against the Thresh, so it's really easy to get picked. I should just be playing behind minions no matter what, even if there's a glob on the side that can heal me a little bit. I don't think it's a smart call to go for that glob just because it's nowhere near the minions and I can easily get picked like I just did. I think I need to just be playing really safe behind the minions until they walk up or until we get a gank, instead of trying to play so aggressive, picking up globs right in their face. It's really not a good call for me, especially when my Draven has so many stacks. I don't want to leave him alone so that he can die. Moving forward a bit more, my Draven just got killed in the bot lane when I tried to look mid. We ended up getting cast flash, and ultimately it wasn't really worth it for my ADC's life. I jump in here to try and compensate for it and help Yi. This was not a good call, especially when Katarina just reset, so we didn't have the mid laner. She TP's in. I probably should have just waited for her instead of trying to compensate for my dead teammates. This is something I definitely need to work on, not jumping in on a dead teammate and instead being more patient and waiting for the healthy teammates to arrive. I think if I waited for Kat to TP and then jumped in with her, she probably would have gotten a quadra kill and just ended the game outright. But instead, I jumped in to compensate and we all died, and now it's a close game. We took the bot lane turret. We have Yi hovering. I'm going to look for a big engage, huge engage here. I think this is a great play by me. Really nice wombo combo to set up my Yi and Draven. This is the sort of stuff I want to be looking for. I should just be chasing Thresh here with the team, but instead I look on Aphelios for no reason. I'm completely alone. I got the Aphelios flash though, so it ended up working out. And Katarina ends up picking up the Thresh. Yi ends up picking up the Aphelios for that play, so I guess it's okay. Katarina dies. There is no reason for me to be jumping in here. I'm sort of just making a hero play and got too hypey after the nice engage. There's no reason to just int the Cassiopeia, even though Katarina just died. There's no reason I should jump in and try to be a hero here. I should either wait for a wave and dive, or I should wait for teammates and dive, or I should just leave her alone and not look to dive. This is really risky and no reason to give Cassiopeia free kills because she's a really strong champion and can carry the game. We have Katarina pinging that she wants in. Draven's looking like he wants to fight. I'm ready to fight, so I send it. I go all in. I get my jump canceled by Thresh. This has been happening all game. I tank the turret. There's really no reason for it. They pop my passive. This is looking pretty bad. I know Katarina should be on her way though. Draven flashes in. He saves my butt. I don't know how I'm alive here. Draven's just the GOAT, I guess. Katarina cleans it all up. We survive. That was really a great call to engage there. Kill the turret right after their TP, so it cancels the TP. It's looking pretty good here. However, I don't really think this is going to be the right call. I end up looking for another dive onto Cassiopeia. She throws her miasma, buffers it, so I don't get my E off. I didn't really think she'd do that because it's kind of hard to do when you're CC'd already, but she did throw it out. I'm starting to get into higher elos. These players were pretty good. She buffers her miasma. I end up trolling there. There's really no reason to ever look for that dive. Way too much of an overstay. Way too hype. It was just Katarina and I, and Cassiopeia's way up in levels. Really not a good call by me. Moving forward even more, we see Cassiopeia running down my Yi. I don't know why I jump in here. We see their entire team. I sort of just ran it down yet again. I jumped into their entire team instead of just waiting for my teammates. Draven's nowhere near. I jumped way too far away for Katarina to jump in. Yi was not healthy. There was no reason for me to jump in there. I guess it sort of compensated for Tryndamere split push, but overall, I don't think it was a good call. See what he ends up doing with it. Looking really strong. Tryndamere might be able to carry this game with this split push. Katarina ends up cleaning up some stuff. Overall, I think Tryndamere is sort of the hero in this play. I don't really think my call was a good one. I think we could have waited a little longer and made it a more worthwhile engage, and maybe had enough time for Tryndamere to end the game if we did it right. But instead, Cassiopeia just becomes an even bigger monster. She's able to just walk down my Draven. Cassiopeia is now fighting the fed Tryndamere. She saved her ult that long, she never even needed it. Tryndamere flashes on her. She has Zhonya's. It's not looking too good. Wow, really a close play. I'm gonna look to try and clean this up and maybe stop them from taking Dragon. I know I'm a support, but I'm still Zac. It's a broken champion. I somehow end up killing her. I'm just gonna straight up solo an Olaf here. My champion's really balanced, by the way. I think Zac's support is really fair. Riot Games, don't touch it. It's my best support in the game. There's no reason to touch this champion. He's completely fair and balanced. Moving ahead a bit, we're sort of just fishing for picks while Tryndamere's split push. We see Aphelios mid. Katarina and Draven just kind of murder him and put him in the dirt 6 feet under. There's nothing he can do. I look at Lilia. They have no turrets here. She's way overextended. I'm just going to look to send. I don't know where she's going to go. I'm going to try and corral her into the minions. We have Katarina coming up. It's looking like she has nowhere to go. I'm going to send it on her. Try to pick her here. Really hard to hit her. She's so fast. Katarina can just jump on her though. Easy shun pose. We get our Zhonya's. Very nice. We can probably look to Baron or end the game here. They have 3 dead now. Draven's really pushed up trying to get a turret. Tryndamere ended up dying looking for turrets and stuff. Cassiopeia is kind of just an absolute menace this game. It's really looking tough. Moving forward a bit here, since we got those picks, we're sort of just trying to play around Baron and get vision. He sweeps the bush. They don't have any vision of him. His champ's really balanced as well. He's level 15 and able to easily run down a max level fed Cassiopeia. Yeah, that's really fair. I think that's gonna wrap up day number 4 here. Ending day number 4 at Diamond 1, 64 LP with a 55% win rate. Don't forget to like and subscribe for day 5.